Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome back to another video on Modern Warships. I'm the Unknown, and today, disappointingly enough, the developers have glazed China yet again, and more, with a full Chinese-themed event. So I'm just gonna get started with it because there's a lot of complaints that I have with this event. I'm just gonna be brutally honest because at this point, I don't care anymore. I already finished it. I decided to grind it because why not? We have the same typical 13 stages with the free spins. We have an okay looking flag, and then we have 30 free spins. We have this mid avatar that's just literally the worst avatar you could possibly put in an event. And then you have free art coins here, which is it's a South Korean air defense, mind you. Just free art coins. Just put it in the buyout. It's not worth having. And then we have the Ghost of the Coast title, which honestly isn't bad. And then we have another J36. If one wasn't enough, we have another one because China. Anyways, we have special offers here. We have the obviously, as you progress through the event, you unlock crazier and crazier discounts. If you just are lazy and have a wallet and want to buy the ship now, you can waste $100 and buy the Chinese Hovercraft. Or you can, spend $15 and get this bundle skin, which is honestly the most mid bundle skin we've ever gotten. It looks good, but like it's just underwhelming. And then we have the event points. You get 300 free event points every 7 hours. Every 2 hours, you get a free 1,000 for watching an ad, a free 2,000 for 300 gold. We have the gacha here, which I already did all the spins. You have the gacha ship, Psychic 2, Aquitaine for the freaky glaziers out there. We have the grenade launcher, which is ass. We'll take a look at that shortly. And then we have the Turkish air defense. Then for the free-to-play gacha, we have the Torpedo here that we'll take a look at on the press account. We have another recycled gacha award because the devs is just... It seems like they just got lazy and wanted to throw something in there. So we have a Super Etzendard in there. And then we have the Prele, which honestly, the Prele, I don't mind the devs putting in here because this is honestly a really good missile. This plane, on the other hand, is trash. Next, we have the shop where you can spend money on boosters. Also, another complaint that I have, free-to-play gacha, perfect. Pay-to-win gacha, still not perfect, because why the hell is there consumables in here? Again, it's like I've said this 100,000 times and the devs just don't give a shit. Instead of putting that in there, why don't you put boosters in there? Look at the boosters, 99 cents, right? Bro, just put it in the pay-to-win gacha. It's that simple. It is literally the simplest task in the world and y'all can't do it. It amazes me. You put a free item in a pay-to-win gacha, but you put pay-to-win items in a free gacha. Where is the fucking logic? What the fuck? Anyways, you can spend money on these like spins here, and yeah, then you get the leaderboards. I'm 10th place in this leaderboard and 21st place in this leaderboard. It's actually the first time I've ever appeared on the event leaderboard. It's honestly quite cool. And then we have the leaderboard here where you do spins, and there's the Chinese guy. He was a cheater. He's going to be in all the leaderboards. He's going to be number one soon. It's just going to happen. He's going to be number one. It's always the case. People grind on his account and he pays them. That's how it goes. We have the event missions here. Delivery drone, stuff like that. The game mode is Escort. We'll talk about Escort. Escort is the best game mode, but it has its flaws. The first flaw is it's capped at 100,000 XP, whereas you can grind offline and get capped at 160,000. So the only benefit that Escort has is it gives you more event points. But even then, if you do grind Escort and you're on the Escort team and you get above 25 kills, if you say you get 29 kills, only 25 is going to count to your stats. So this is the second time now the devs haven't fixed that bug, and it's just blatant laziness on their part. I'm sorry, I'm gonna say it. I don't care. It is blatant laziness. The fact that y'all haven't fixed that, the fact that it's been complained about many times, and I've pinged y'all about it many times, and y'all still haven't fixed it, it just seems like y'all are giving me a middle finger. I'm sitting here trying to support y'all, but y'all aren't supporting us, so it's kind of hypocritical. I know they're gonna talk to me in the DMs about this too. Anyways, we have the gacha ship here that we'll take a look at, and then we have the hovercraft. So first, we'll take a look at the grenade launcher first. So the grenade launcher, here we go. It does 7,800 damage per round with a range of 12.13 kilometers, a reload of 8.75 seconds, and an ammunition of 15. Alright, and if we test this grenade launcher in a 2x slot, we'll see how much damage this thing does. 93,000 damage in a 2 slot. So if you do 93 times 2, right, in a 4x slot, the F126, you're going to be doing 186,000 damage with just this grenade launcher alone. But it's not anti-sub. As you can see, it is not anti-sub. It is only for snipers. Honestly, the worst type of grenade launcher and the worst gacha grenade launcher we've ever gotten. Anyways, let's move on to the actual review of the ship. As much as I hate the fact that the devs heavily glaze China, I will say that when it comes to my ships, I try to keep the build relatively primarily what the country is. So this is a Chinese ship. I primarily try to put a Chinese build, so that includes missile, cannon, grenade launcher, and torpedo. Usually isn't the case because usually the Russian stuff or the Turkish stuff is better. We have a Chinese helicopter and a Chinese air defense, but we'll go ahead and take a look at the ship. The durability is 442,000 with a speed of 25.8 knots, a maneuverability of 10, a view range of 10.4, an aerial visibility of 4.68, an aerial visibility of surface visibility of 4.25, and underwater visibility of 3.68. And disappointingly enough, this is a guided missile that launches from the side of the ship. Honestly, the worst placement for a guided missile ever. This should have just been a regular missile. But it is what it is. It does 11,700 damage with a range of 14.73 kilometers and a reload of 11.9 seconds. And then we have the air defenses here. I'm not gonna, say the stats of the air defenses, but you guys can pause the video for the sake of looking at the stats. And let's go ahead and just test this offline real quick. Now, I will say, looks-wise, the ship looks decent, especially with the creator skin. But, performance-wise, on paper, this thing doesn't seem like it's anything special at all. It just seems like another useless gacha destroyer. Literally, the Fletcher is better than this thing. By far. So is the freaking, dare I say, the Ted Stevens, or not the Ted Stevens, the Jack H. Lucas is better than this. But, we'll see. This ship does have its ups and downs. The ups is that it's very fast and it's very agile, as a destroyer should. I'm glad the devs did something right there. But when it comes to the missiles, they launch from the side, and it's not good. It's terrible. But it does seem like they have a high durability, which is good, especially if you're like one of those people that just wants to grind offline. However, the reload, I will say, is atrocious. And the reload is not exactly the best, but it's not terrible. It's not something I can really complain about. But just overall, this type of missile placement on a ship is terrible, especially for a guided missile. You never want to use a guided missile on a launcher where they launch from the side of the ship. It is the worst, especially if you're one of those people that peeks in front of a rock. Like, if you do this, it's terrible because it can get easily destroyed by the rocks or whatever. But, again, for offline purposes, it has high durability, so there is a plus to that. Obviously, credit where credit's due. It's not a terrible missile. It's just the placement of the launchers isn't ideal, per se. The ship does seem to be handling itself relatively well, stats-wise. I will give it that. Also, another benefit to having guided missiles is, for instance, this right here. It's just an extra armament you can use to attack a ship that's using smoke. So that is another benefit to this guided missile. I will say that is a massive plus. So it seems like there's more pluses than minuses when it comes to this guided missile. The only minus is the placement of the missiles. So overall, this destroyer is pretty decent. I don't like that it has one cannon, but it is what it is. But overall, as it stands, it's not terrible. There are better ships. There's better gacha destroyers, like I said, the Fletcher. But this ship is not bad. Would I recommend spending money for it? No. But if you get lucky and you have it, it's not a waste of space. You can use this. I would recommend using it if you have it. It's definitely, it's pretty good. And yeah, there you guys have it. Not terrible. I don't know. I probably have to use this ship a lot more to get used to it, but honestly, the only bad thing I can say about it is the fact that it has side launchers. If the guided missiles launched from the top, it would be just perfect. Anyways, let's go ahead and move on to the hovercraft. Alright, so we have the second ever bundle hovercraft, the CNDX-125, and it has a durability of 455,000. If we compared that to the Pan-Spatial Zeus, it's Chinese, so naturally it's going to have more durability. It has a speed of 37.1, whereas the speed of the Zeus is higher, so there's a nice balance there. The maneuverability is 7.2 with a view range of 10.8, area visibility of 4.13, surface visibility of 3.73, underwater visibility of 3.2, and a stealth of 6%, which is the same stealth as the Zeus. And if I remember correctly, this is an anti-flare missile, yeah. So this is an anti-flare missile that can be launched using this helicopter right here. We'll take a look at that shortly. But it has a damage of 7,800 with a range of 17.33 kilometers and a reload of 8.4 seconds. Not bad at all. We have two cannons here. Obviously a plus. They're both in the front. Very good for peeking. It's like a zoom walt. I love that. The damage is 9,750 with a range of 14.73 kilometers and a reload of 6.3 seconds. Not bad. Next, we have, it looks like a reskinned Fire Dragon that is not a missile launcher. It has a damage of 2,405 with a range of 10.4 kilometers and a reload of 7.7 seconds. Next, we have the WZ-11W. If you want to pause the video to take a look at the stats, you can. I'm not going to read all of it. But, yeah. Same thing with the TU-200, or TW-200, excuse me. Same thing, if you want to pause the video real quick to see the stats, you can. I'll go nice and slow. There you go. And then next we have the air defense here. And I'm going to take this in test mode real quick just to show off the features that this thing has before I take it in an offline to test it even more. Alright, so first off we have the helicopter, which as you can see, I'll go farther back so you guys can see it launch off the ship. But as you can see, the missiles are anti-flare, and it looks like they're going to be doing about 62,000 damage. Not bad. Not bad at all. The cannon itself, we'll see the cannons here. Very low bullet spread, 58,000 damage every 6 or 7 seconds is not bad at all. Then we have the grenade launcher, which in fact is anti-sub. It has 4, it looks like. 85,000 damage, pretty respectable for the amount of reload it has. And it looks like there is a little bit of bullet spread there. We'll test that even more. So there is a little bit of bullet spread. It's not a lot, but it's enough. Now we will do a full burst, launching all of the things real quick. Not a bad burst. And then we have the helicopter here, which honestly is pretty cool. It looks like this cannon is going to be anti-air, and then we have some guided missiles here. 40,000 damage is not bad at all. Honestly, I like this better than the destroyer. All right, let's go ahead and take this in an offline match just to test out its capability. It is a good thing that it has smoke. Also, wow, I did not notice that at first. But look at the feature it has with the propellers where they immediately go in the water. I think that's pretty cool. The overall looks of the hovercraft, it is not the prettiest thing in the world. I think the Zeus definitely looks better in terms of aesthetics, but in terms of armaments, I think this thing takes the cake for just sheer power, if you will. So it has that going for it. Anyways, let's go ahead and just knock out the sheer amount of damage this thing can do. Just look at that. That is just, it's lovely. It's lovely. This is definitely a hovercraft that I'm going to be taking online a few times when I do my event live stream. This thing is just phenomenal. I love it. This is for sure worth the $40. Anyways, let's go ahead and be a dick and use some smoke. Excuse my profanity in this video. I know there's a bunch of sensitive people who find curse words very bad, but I use curse words to express myself, and that's just how I am as a person. Again, just wow. The damage of this thing is amazing. I love it. The speed obviously is not there. It's definitely one of the slower hovercrafts, or it's the slowest hovercraft of the two so far. But the firepower definitely makes up for it. I honestly cannot complain about the speed of this hovercraft at all. It's honestly just a phenomenal hovercraft. And looks like I'm gonna have to use the grenade launchers there. There we go. That's a kill assist. I don't know how. But yeah, honestly, like, again, this thing, it has a lot going for it. We're going to go ahead. Oh, and that's another kill assist. Wow, the bots just love stealing kills. But yeah, overall, $40 for this thing is very acceptable. I like this hovercraft. It is just definitely a step up compared to the Zeus. Definitely a step up compared to the Zeus. Sorry, Zeus, but there is a better option now. I absolutely love this hovercraft. Probably, I'm definitely using this online a lot. I love it. Honestly, I have no complaints about this hovercraft whatsoever. Can't even complain about the locked armaments on it. The lack of air defense, maybe, but like even then, it's like it doesn't matter. This thing does a lot of damage. I'm honestly happy with it. Let's go ahead and move on to the fighter now, the event reward. We'll go ahead and take a look at that right now. Alright, so if we make our way to the CN Type 004, you can see here that we have the J-36 here, the Battle Pass aircraft, and then we have the other J-36, the ASF, and as you can see, they look exactly the same. And honestly, I like this. I honestly like it. It makes the carrier look very nice. I like having a primarily Chinese loadout on my Chinese ships, and I gotta say, aesthetically wise, it looks really good. Let's go ahead and review this thing real quick. So it has a durability of 19,500 health, with a speed of 108.7 knots, an afterburner of 132.6, a maneuverability of 97.5, a view range of 11.4, aerial visibility of 5.21, surface visibility of 4.82, underwater visibility of 2.74, stealth percentage of 8. Very nice. Let's go ahead and take it offline because I want to see the anti-air capabilities of this thing. And before I do that, I do want to see the details of this. It doesn't have the details. Oh well. All right, we're going to go ahead and launch the J-36 ASF here. I think it's this one. Yeah. All right. So it has a top speed of 880 knots, it looks like. 886 knots. All right, let's go ahead, see what this thing offers in terms of oh my god, anti-flare. Anti-flare this, anti-flare that. Yep, it's Chinese. I would hope so. The glaze is definitely there. Wow. Okay, it's automatically the best fighter in the game. Nice. Okay, let's just go ahead and use this bomber to, hold on. Alright, there we go. One thing to notice is this thing has a very fast reload. Okay. That reload is very, very fast. And this thing is good at combating things in long range. This is definitely one of the better fighters out there for sure. Arguably, this is probably the best fighter in the game. Arguably, because it's Chinese. Of course it's going to be the best. But, can I complain? No. This thing does the job very well. I gotta say, I'm impressed. I'm definitely going to be using that fighter, at least, you know, online whenever I use a carrier. Okay, and then my bomb just decided not to drop. Nice. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and try that again. There we go. Looks like we hit the spot there. Let's go ahead and use the other J-36s to attack the other ships. I'm gonna go ahead and skip to the finished gameplay. Anyways, I'm gonna go have some fun dive bombing real quick. Alright, that should be a kill right there. Nice. Perfect. I've always been good at bombing. It's just my thing. I'm just a very good bomber. Oh yeah, but that is the fighter. Honestly, I can't complain. It's a very nice reward. At first, I was when I saw the event reward, I was like, "Oh, it's just a fighter. It's nothing really special about it." There is something special about it. Full anti-flare and a laser cannon. What more could you possibly ask? Anyways, let's go ahead and review that torpedo. Alright, before I go and take a look at the torpedo, I forgot to look at the other mid avatars. So we'll go ahead and take a look at that real quick. We have the top 3 avatar, mid, looks terrible. And then we have this avatar, mid, looks absolutely terrible. We have the Chosen of the Abyss title, which is the #1 title. Then we have Herald of the Waves for top 10. And then we have the Captain of the Last Era title, which is cringe, to be honest. This avatar looks absolutely terrible. This avatar looks absolutely terrible. This avatar just... why? It looks terrible. And then we have the Warrior of Freedom title. Very mid leaderboard rewards. I will not be participating in this leaderboard. You can see my name right there. That name is going to fade away into the abyss of the leaderboard, and you will never see it come up again. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and upgrade that torpedo for you guys. Alright, so this torpedo does 16,250 damage with a range of 10.4 kilometers or in a reload of 10.85 seconds. One thing to note is this thing has manual controls, so it's a 3-shot tube control, and you can control each shot, which is pretty good because you can control the timing in which you launch these things, because this thing is not an anti-flare torpedo. Alright, let's go ahead and spot the enemy real quick so we can see what we're looking at. Alright, so let's see what we're talking about here. 1, 2, 3. Okay, not bad. I kind of like that. That is definitely different when it comes to a torpedo, and good lord, look how many torpedoes that is on a TF-2000. That looks like 12, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it is 12 torpedoes heading this dude's way, and he's not even going to shoot him down because I'm not spotted, and that thing does, good lord, the damage. That is, very, very nice. I'm going to let the damage of that torpedo finish him off. But yeah, honestly, a very nice torpedo. I can't complain about this thing at all. Definitely a very, very good torpedo indeed. I love this thing quite a bit. Let's go and test it against this Battlecruiser 2000 here. Make sure he knows that he is not the best bot in the game. Yeah, even with the 10-second reload, I can't complain about this thing one bit whatsoever, because that damage just makes up for it. 194k is just astonishing for a torpedo. I do love the manual launches too. Usually, I'm not a big fan of manual launch, but I gotta say, this torpedo is definitely an exception to that rule because of the fact that it's not anti-flare, so you're able to time your launches just right. And typically, here's a tip for you guys: when a submarine player flares your torpedo, count to 10 and then launch your torpedoes again, and then you have a 21-second cooldown for when you can spam torpedoes against a sub. So I can tell you right now, this is going to be one of the best torpedoes to use against submarine players. Definitely one of the best. Obviously, Spearfish Mod 1 is going to be the best torpedo in the game, but this thing right here is the best non-anti-flare torpedo in the game. Just look at the damage. The damage speaks for itself. Overall, I'm impressed. That torpedo is definitely going to be worth the no-lifing to grind 1,000 spins to obtain it. Very nice. Very nice. Definitely makes up for the lack of, attention to detail when it comes to these events. So yeah, with that said, that concludes the event review of the Breath of Freedom. Now, obviously, there's a lot of love and there's a lot of hate. I gotta say, the Hovercraft, Massive plus. I love that hovercraft. The torpedo, again, a very nice torpedo. The event reward, very nice. I don't use fighters a lot, but I gotta say, that one is an exception. I do like that fighter a lot. Some things to hate. The devs just, the lack of care the devs have for the pay-to-win gacha. And just the fact that they give all this love to China, but no other country in the game. It just doesn't sit well with me. If you put that aside, this event is still mid. The leaderboard rewards are absolutely trash. I gotta say, the only things worth it in this event is the fighter, the torpedo, and the hovercraft. That's just my opinion. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Let me know what you guys think of everything, of the event as a whole. And yeah, that is going to conclude today's review. Peace out.